Alright, so this is the voiceover. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to be voicing over videos that I post that are no-talk videos. This is a nodule from Aaron Wilson. And in the future, what I'll do is I'll make a no-talk video and then I'll post a narrated version and I'll goof around. So this is the yap video. So what am I going to do? How do I approach this? I normally just start where I think I can knock off an easy flake and get used to it. So I figure right there's a good spot in the corner. Immediately I can see that it's kind of snapping half-ish. That flake broke up. Yeah. And you can see there too, it broke up. Yeah, but it still looks pretty good. Some of my favorite stuff, it looks like. Yeah, I like the buttery stuff. Not too glossy. And not transparent. I'm using an old bopper. I probably shouldn't use an old bopper for this, but I didn't know what to expect, so I'm not going to use my good stuff right away. It's a little bit crunchy. Yeah. That was a good flake. So I may be talking over my humming. I do hum in this video in the beginning. That's a bad spot right there. I can tell I'm going to have probably some issues with it. Of course, I've already done the video, so I already know all the issues. But at that stage, when I was working on it, I can tell. Yeah, that one corner right there. If I can just get rid of it all at once, that'd be great. That's going to be hard, yeah. Now, the thing is, with me narrating like this and doing the voiceover, I'm not going to be able to tell you my struggles exactly because I got to go by memory and I hardly remember any of this. I can tell what I'm getting into by watching this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to goof around on this video. I'm thinking of making instructional videos with as much detail as possible and then make those voiced over videos available to members only. Yeah. Alrighty. Cool. No, dude, it's not fair. I don't want you to make a membership fee for those. Yeah, well, I got to offer my members something, so it's hard for me to explain these things. So I think it'll be a win-win if I charge, membership. If I'm going to provide membership, I might as well do the instructional videos for the membership people because it requires work on my part to study the video and explain what's going on and try to remember all that. It's much more difficult to do an instructional video than it is just to yap. Like right here, it's difficult to explain what I'm doing, but what I'm ultimately trying to do on this part is just get big flakes if possible. If not, oh well. I don't know what to expect under the cortex. Sometimes it's all crunchy and nasty. Who knows? Sometimes there's existing cracks. Anyway, in the instructional videos, I'll try to give you my mindset, strategy, if I have one, And the mindset's usually just like, watch what you do. Don't break it. Don't smash the edge. Don't crush it. Don't get all stupid. Yeah. But I'll try to be more serious. Now I had to hit that really hard. There comes a stage where I hit it hard enough to break it. Yeah. But I try not to depend too much on luck. If it does not break during some of this really hard hitting, it is luck. So I depend on it a little bit. But in my instructional videos, I'll let you know, when I'm taking a lot of chances. On these Yap videos, I'm just going to watch and see, give you a little bit of information on what I'm doing, and goof around a little bit. Whatever comes to my mind, I'll just talk about it. Yeah. Just like in regular napping. See, when I'm doing my regular napping, I try not to think about what I'm napping too much. Yeah. If I overthink it, I tend to prepare one little spot, and then if I smash and crush it, I don't have another spot. But if I leave it open and, kind of prepare the whole edge, it gives me more options. Yeah. I thought you weren't going to do instructional video type narration on this one. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta get used to this. I'll try to goof around more, yeah. This is not easy stuff to nap. It might look kind of easy, and it's Obsidian, but this one was not easy. I have to be very careful. Yeah. I was starting to get tense right there. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, got to get out the Abrader, right? I haven't used the Abrader much until right now. Yeah, I got to get it out and use it. And now that I'm used to the material, try to figure out if I can knock off some big old flakes anymore, or do I have to just focus on trimming, getting it all nice and regular so that I can thin it down. It's much easier to thin it down if it's all regular. All right, so it's 4 and something, 4 1/4. I offered this in the auction. I can't remember what the measurement was in the final measurement. Probably around 4. Okay, so this next stage, pretty typical setup here. I'll do the first stage of bifacing with the bopper or, billet or whatever. Sometimes I'll use indirect percussion for the bifacing in the initial stage. But in this case, I use the beat up old bopper. Now it's time to get down to figuring out where's the best place to strike to get some good big flakes. I like to get bold flakes. It just reduces the amount of flaking. Yeah. I don't like too much flakery, either on the surface, the way it looks, or in the amount of flakes that I have to remove. I'd rather remove just the minimum number of flakes. Yeah. I gotta get new abraders. Yeah, they're getting tiny. Still works though. And that glass dust. The obsidian dust is getting everywhere in my shop. The obsidian produces a lot more dust than anything else, I noticed. So I'm taking some material off the tip. Yeah, I've been working the tips lately first, but you can do it the other way around. Yeah, some of the old artifacts are worked base first, so It's the opposite of what I'm doing. Why do I do it this way? It gives me a chance to get used to the material. The tip is easier to run flakes across and run flakes to the center. Yeah, that one broke up. But yeah, I'm trying to get big flakes. Anyway, the tip area allows me to run flakes across without too much experience with the material. And then as I get better at it, I work my way down into the wider areas. But when I do the instructional video on this one, I'll, go into more depth on how much I abrade, why I abrade and why I don't. And I'll go into some of the properties of the material. Like, what is it acting like? Sometimes Obsidian is crunchy in one spot and nice and smooth and easy to work with in another spot. But for the most part, the Obsidian is consistent. So it's either consistently good or consistently bad or somewhere in the middle. This abrader here is an old one. And I'm using it because I'm, getting low on the other abraders. This one doesn't work as well. I don't know what it is. It's not a grinding wheel abrader. I think I got this one from a website, actually. It breaks up easier. The grinding wheel abraders are a little bit more durable. This one removes a lot of material, so it's good at doing that, but it wears down really fast. And it snaps. The abrader is not that durable. Anyway. So I was going to try to keep this nice and wide, which I did to a certain extent. But with crunchy material, that's the hardest thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, I hit it too hard there. But that's a nice flake. I can tell I hit it too hard because the flake didn't fan out. It kind of cracked in the middle. And I'm hitting pretty hard there. Luckily, it's not smashing the edge too much. I can't remember if I had difficulty sharpening this one or not. We'll see. When I get to that part in the video, I'll see if I remember if I was having trouble sharpening this type of obsidian. See, some of these flakes are staying together, which is unusual. Yeah, I guess I just got lucky on some of those. Thin the ends down. Sometimes I take a pause. I don't know why I paused right there. Maybe it was to see if I needed to, leave it thick. If it feels really snap and halfish, I'll try to leave it thicker than usual. Yeah. Some people might ask, why do you keep doing the same old shapes over and over? Just the teardrop shape, dude. It gets a little bit, boring. I don't know. This is the shape I like doing. I like doing the teardrop shape, okay? I like it. So I'm going to do it. I could take it down and make it really, really narrow. And then just make a bunch of narrow points. It just seems kind of wasteful. So maybe I got used to doing the teardrop shape to keep from wasting the width. I don't know. Yeah, and I don't like doing too much abrading. But in some cases, you can't get away from it. You just got to abrade the crap out of it, or it's going to crush. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay for it to crush if your alternative is the overshot. You don't want to get the overshots. Sometimes they work out, but for the most part, for me, it removes too much of the other edge. So I don't do it. And some people say, you need to do it, man, because that's what awesome nappers do. They all do the overshot, and they all make it look cool. Yeah. Not all of them. No, I'm not going to do it. I try to avoid it. If I can get close to the other edge, that's cool. But, yeah. I don't want to make no mistakes. I like to have my edges so I can have options and opportunities. Yeah. I like continuous platforms. Or something similar, you know, just I pre-grind all the edges first, and then I look around for opportunities. So this one actually came along pretty good, even though it's kind of snap and half-ish. The flakes are holding together during the thinning stage, which is surprising. It has this particular type of obsidian, I can produce flat flakes with it. Yeah. It's snap and half-ish, but the flakes don't dive in, which is unusual. Yeah, see all these flat flakes? They're not diving. A lot of times when it's snap and half-ish type stuff, it likes to dive, and it likes very convex surfaces. But this one, I could run flat flakes easily, as long as I abrade the edges enough. Yeah, it makes for good debitage. I can salvage those flakes if they're nice and flat and straight. Salvage more than usual, because the curved flakes are usually just junk flakes, crud flakes. All right, so I'm getting down to the point where it's getting scary. This is the sweat stage. I can tell already, and I'm not even napping it, and I'm just voiceovering it. I can tell. I think I remember this part. I'm just trimming it. Rapid fire trimming. Much quicker than pressure flaking. Yeah. So yeah, straightforward from here. I'm just trying to make it all nice and neat, if I can. I needed to abrade right there. Yeah. See, when I start to mess up, I go, man, I gotta abrade. So let's see. Still got an hour left to narrate this thing. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? Not much to say. A lot of this stuff is just tedious work. Yeah, I'm glad I did not narrate during this napping, because it's very tedious. I took my time on this one, and I didn't take all that many chances with it. Yeah, as soon as it started messing up, I would abrade it or figure out a way to be safer in taking off the flakes. I kept plenty of width on here so I can have lots of options. The good part about it is I was able to generate long flakes and flat ones, as long as the edge was okay. See, right there, the edge was not good. I can usually get good flakes off the base, but somehow I was messing that up. Look at that. It's all crunchy. I don't know what I was doing. Sometimes the obsidian gets embedded in the end of the flaker, and it kind of doesn't grab the edge. It just bounces off, so you don't run long flakes if it does that. Lots of abrading. Is it going to work? Maybe. It did not work. Yeah, I don't want to see no flub ups. I want to see perfect because I'm the one that does the flub ups. I don't want to do no more. Yeah, people get, well, I don't get that too much anymore, but people used to say that they did not want to see me mess up. No. They can do that themselves. I need to show videos where there isn't any mess up so that they know how to not mess up. Yeah. But that would mean I'll have to delete half of my videos or, you know, go even more slowly. I've slowed down over time too much. I used to knock these points out quickly because it was driving me nuts to go too slow. I've slowly, over time, developed the patience to go more slowly. And now it takes me forever when I want to get back to doing them fast. So I think I can do them faster when I'm doing the no-talk videos. Yeah. And it's more enjoyable for me because it's less work. It's less stress. It's less thinking. Yeah. I don't want to have to think through the whole process. And if I take a shorter amount of time to do the items, it gives me more time to work on my tools and get them all nice and dressed and maintained. That's the theory anyway. So I tried a big old flake. Yeah, that's what I like. I'm excited. I'm not even doing it. I'm just watching myself. Yeah. I'm just watching a video and I can already see, or I can see, this is the exciting part if I can get it to work. Yeah. I think it was working there for a minute. Yep. Nice. Now, when it gets close to the tip, that's when my luck starts running out. It's the whole different mindset up near the tip. I can't be running those huge long flakes because it'll overshoot. Yep. I gotta be gentle, and then those step fractures start rearing their ugly head. You know, when they start tiptoeing through the tulips near the tips, I get these little step fractures. Drives me nuts. No matter how much I grind, it doesn't seem to do much. Let's see, did that work? Nope, that didn't work that great. Did that work? A little bit. Yeah, see, when you get down to the bigger, thicker area, I can relax a little bit. Maybe I should relax up near the tip, but no. As soon as I slack off up near the tip, it gets messed up. I'm not sure where I lose more material, off the tip or off the base. Probably off the base because it's always usually thicker there. Yeah. Let me see. Oh wait, this video is only an hour long. Hour and 8 minutes. I've already narrated for 25. Okay. I thought I had longer to narrate than that. I was starting to go, dang, it's going to take me forever to do this. I got more videos to narrate. I was thinking of narrating or voiceovering 3 videos tonight. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I gotta charge up the microphone after each voiceover because I don't want that microphone to quit and then I gotta start over again. Yeah, I can't use my phone's microphone because it's stupid. It's starting to, well, not starting. It's on the fritz. My phone's microphone has not been working at all. All I hear is static. So I use a external microphone now. And I'm in the process of getting yet another one that I can strap onto my head. Yeah. I don't have to hold it. Or I don't have to pin it to my shirt. I don't like pinning it either because it usually bumps into something. I should order that right now. After I narrate this video, I'm going to order that microphone. It's a hands-free headset. Yeah. It'll be nice. It'll be good. I will narrate like I should. All right, so I normally don't do this. I think I'm setting up this edge for the next series of flakes. I don't normally break up my percussion session with pressure flaking, but in some cases I just can't get the abrader to, give me that shortcut. I can usually abrade away the weak areas or the strange or the lumpy areas to make it nicer for the percussion series of flakes. But I had to do some pressure on this one. So, yeah, thank you for the up-close view of the edge. It doesn't help too much unless I explain exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah. I'm not going to explain it on this one. I'm just looking, I guess, to see and to show you, how much the edge is abraded. I'm looking to see if there's weak spots myself. And then when I show the edge like that, I just want you to see how much I abraded. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not going to explain anything in depth as far as the abrading goes. Yeah, I'll wait till I do the instructional video on this one. So yeah, I can still get nice big wide flakes, but the endings are unpredictable. At least they're not diving. So I can pick out that last remnant. That was good. That allowed me to keep it nice and wide. Yeah, the flat flakes on this particular type of obsidian, it allowed me to keep it abnormally wide, I think. Yeah. Okay, here I go. I know I'm getting nervous around the tip. Yep. And I'm not hitting very hard. I should have hit that harder probably. See, I can't remember if the edge was cracking it at all when I was hitting really hard. I can't remember if the edge was cracking. Some obsidians, the edge cracks a lot, and some it doesn't crack much when you hit it really, really hard. I notice I'm not abrading very hard, just light abrading, looks like. Yeah, the danger is at this stage, when it starts getting thin, if you abrade a lot, you end up removing too much of the edge when you strike it, because you need to hit not only hard because you want a long flake, but you hit hard because the platform is really strong. And you can wipe out some of the edge with a ring crack. I hate those too. All right. I hit the widest part. Is it working? Can I run a long flake? No? Yes? It scooped it a little bit? Let's see. No, it didn't run it. It did not go as far as I wanted. I can tell. It's got to go over halfway. Yeah, I could tell I was a little bit disappointed there because it should have been no-brainer. There it goes. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice and flat. I'm amazed. A lot of times when you hit the base like that, it'll dive right into the middle. Man, you could have made a Clovis. All this talk about flat flakes and you didn't even make a Clovis. No, I didn't make a Clovis, and it didn't even occur to me. I could have fluted this one pretty easily because the flakes are not diving. It didn't even occur to me to do it. No? Oh, I can't remember. Maybe it did for a split second. I don't know. Clovises are okay. I mean, I don't mind making them. They're just not my favorite. I just like regular blades. Nothing fancy. Clovis sometimes gets on my nerves because I'll get a step fracture right when I was not supposed to on another part of the blade. And then there's that flute right in the way that I can't risk, infringing onto the flute with a big broad flake to get rid of a flakery area or something, or a step fracture. So I have to work around the flute. It seems a little bit showy when I make a Clovis because, everyone wants a flute on theirs. The real ones, they didn't care. They would run flakes across the flutes. Or they didn't care. Once in a while, sometimes they didn't even flute them. But no, I can't do that on video. People will say, that's not a real Clovis. I mean, it is a real Clovis when it does not have a flute, but it's not video worthy. I mean, anyone can do that. It's true. I have to agree. Anyone, if they make a video doing something anybody can do, what's the sense of watching it? Yeah. Now that side turned out sweet. This side, side B. Yeah. What am I going to do? I don't really care about side A or side B anymore. I remember a time where I thought about that a lot. Yeah, side A and side B. But not anymore. I don't care. I used to get all bent out of shape that one side was really, really bad. I guess I got good enough that I could make them, pretty similar. If I make both of them kind of average, it works out. But if I try to make it perfect, I might get one side perfect and the other side really bad. So I'd rather have both, both sides average instead of one side good, one side bad. Yeah, I think so. And I'll go extra thin for the video. I always say I'll make them thicker for myself when no one's, when I don't have to impress anybody, when no one's watching, you know, I'll just make regular points. But I do find myself making really, really thin points off camera, mainly because I want to see how far I can take the material. I used to have a little keeper collection of really thin points that I would take with me to nap-ins. But I got tired of carrying them around. It was kind of stressful because, you know, they could break so easily. And then people would ask me, can I buy him? You selling these, right? Not really. Well, I want to buy it. Okay, fine. So, yeah, I sold them all. Sold all my thin little points. I had a bunch of thin arrow points for, you know, true arrows. True arrow points. They call them bird points, but they should be called true arrow points for arrows. Reproductions and art pieces. Yeah, I tell myself someday I'll start up another collection for myself. But I think what I'll do is I'll just display them. I won't bring them to nap-ins. Yeah. It's kind of an anxiety thing to bring extra stuff to a nap-in. Gives me anxiety. I have to keep track of all this stuff. Here it goes. Here we go. I can tell. I think this is the crunchy spot that did not get removed because it's not cooperating. I can tell already. Yep. And I bet you I did not abrade enough. Let me see. Did I abrade enough? It looks like I might be. No, I did not. Here goes anyway. I think I crunch it. Let me see. Did I crunch it? A little bit, yep. Now I'm taking some chances there. Watch, I'll take another chance. Yep. I don't learn. I don't learn. I just nap into the crunchy area. Hoping for a good stroke of luck, I guess. Yeah. Alrighty. I was able to get some of those sticky flakes out of there, but it looks bad. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I was able to clear that all out of there. See, when it starts to get crunchy like that, even though it's not in a bad spot, it should be easy to remove, right? But I messed up my chances to remove it because I was not abrading enough or developing good convexity right there. I should have taken back the edge more so it would be more convex for those flakes that went into that crunchy area. That might have helped. Yeah, I'm looking at it going, dang it. What did I do? What did I do? Trying to take a shortcut. It's only 39 minutes, so I shouldn't be tired at this stage. Yeah. But who knows? Sometimes I get really tired for no reason. Yeah. Something gets on my nerves. Yeah, something gets on my nerves and I go, man, is this point done yet? Is it done yet? No? Dang it. Maybe if I rub it enough, those little crackly things will come out of there. It looks like, yeah, maybe if I rub it enough, it's not gonna work, dude. I gotta shoot it. Flake, let's see. Did I do it? No. What am I doing? I'm digging a hole that I won't be able to climb out of. Yeah, that was a little repair flake. But for the previous one, it didn't repair any of that crunchiness. Yeah, because the previous one looks like I scooped it a little bit too much, and it, instead of traveling far, it scooped it. Yeah, scooping flakes usually don't travel that far because of the scoop. All the energy is, you know, driven into scooping out a lot of material. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go on the tip now. Let's see if I can mess it up. Did I do it? Yeah, there we go. I'm hitting it right where I shouldn't because I needed to pop that flake out of there first. Sometimes I get lazy and I say, no, I can just flake it out of there. Yeah, just flake it out of there. Easy peasy. Nope. Not easy peasy. Well, in this case, it wasn't. The edge is getting too thin for me to do any reliable flakes. Yeah. At this stage, I just got to live with what I got. If I keep trying to thinning down the thin piece, I just got to make do with what I got because there's not much opportunity to repair if I messed it up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm taking a measurement. Actually, it was thinner than I thought it was. Yeah, I think it was like almost 11-1 at this stage. You know, it's still kind of wide. It's 5 by 50 something, 5 by 55, 5 millimeter by 55 millimeter, something like that. It was good. So I'm thinking, maybe I don't have to thin it anymore. I think that's what I was thinking. But if it looks a little bit wonky, that means I got to thin it more. And I got to upgrade it. And there's still a lot of video to go left, so I think that's what I did. I think I said, yeah, let's go for the gusto. It's only 3.5 or a little bit less. Start out 4 and something. Dang it. I think it started out a little over 4 inches or almost at 4 inches. I can't remember now. All right, let's tidy up for the next stage. I was already sweating in the previous stages. Now it's going to be, what can I get away with? I'm going to be depending on a lot of luck for this. Yeah. Let's see what I can get away with. See what kind of limits I can push. The files are so good for this part. All right. Am I going to pressure flake it? I did not expect that. I did not expect to be pressure flaking it so soon. Okay. So yeah, I made a decision that it was thin enough. But I think I ran some flakes after this, some percussion flakes after this. Is this all going to be pressure from now on? That's no fun. I got to narrate through the pressure flakes. Dang it. For those of you who just tuned in, maybe you're just tuning in, I'm doing a voiceover on this one. Yeah, I know it says it in the title, but just in case. Yeah. Never know. Some people can look right at the title and not read it. How do I know? I don't know. Do I do it? I am not going to tell. I'm not going to admit if I do it or not. No. I refuse to confirm or deny. Yeah. This is actually pretty great because I don't feel the anxiety that I normally feel when I'm working on the tip. I'm just watching myself. I'm going, hey. This is the sweat stage when I'm actually doing it, but narrating it, I can just watch and see what I'm doing. I can't zoom in though, because it'll mess up the voiceover. It'll shut the voiceover off. I bet you. If I touch the screen to zoom in to see what I'm doing, I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm dulling it. I'm going to thin down the tip with pressure. Okay. Yeah, that's my goal right now. It looks like I get to thin down the tip with pressure and forget about the percussion thinning. Yeah, that's okay. As long as I don't get a lot of step fractures in the pressure flaking, I'll be all right. There we go. I can tell it's crushy. Yeah. Dang it. I needed a shorter tipped pressure flaker. This one bends. When it's that long, that copper will bend, so I can't push on it too hard. And I think that was something I was struggling with. Yeah. Luckily, Obsidian doesn't need much pressure, but still. Like down here in these areas, I can bend that copper really easy. Why does it matter? Because it'll mess you up. You think you're going to put a lot of pressure and get a really good, nice, long flake, and then all of a sudden the copper bends on you, and then the flake goes weird. It gets all weird. It doesn't go as far. Sometimes it's step fracture. Sometimes you break the edge. All kinds of stuff. Sometimes it doesn't do anything except maybe produce a short flake, and it just got a bent tip and a short flake. But sometimes it'll mess up. Either way, you don't get what you want. I'm surprised I didn't continue working on the tip. I'm not done with the tip yet. My ADHD must have kicked in, and I said, yeah, let's just switch up a little bit. Yeah. We don't need to work on no tip right now. The edge is crushing, or I didn't abrade enough, or both. Yeah, I'm yawning already. I gotta go to bed. I was gonna narrate or voice over 2 more videos, but no, I don't think so. I can see that step fracture right there. Here we go. Let's see if I can do it. See if I can get rid of that little step fracture right there. That's what it looks like to me. Let's see if I can do it. No? Almost? Eh. Maybe if I rub it. Yeah. It didn't do it. Okay, switch up. Just down. Yeah, what did I do? I'm taking the easy way out and just down pressure because I got sick of that little spot. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Step fracture still in there. So yeah, just down pressure, or whatever you call it. Anybody can do that, I know. But when you get bored or you get tired of a little spot on the edge, you can just do down pressure. Yeah. It thickens up the edge, but at least you don't get step fractures and stuff. It is relatively sharp when you do it this way. To get it sharper, you need some inward pressure. But the down pressure is just a simple way to get the edge nice and neat. Even though there will be some thick spots, at least it'll be straight. It'll look symmetrical once you get, once you look at the symmetry and then figure out what to remove. You just use down pressure. Okay, here we go. Am I going to try to sharpen it? That's what it looks like. Inward flakes. Scoops out the edge more than the downward flakes. Yep. So yeah, just random. I'm just working the edge randomly. I guess I thought I saw some thick spots. I said, yeah, I can run some inward flakes and unthicken that part. Oh, I'm trying to get fancy. I better not try to get fancy in that crackly area. Try to run a long flake into there. That's what I mean by getting fancy. There's no way. There's no way I was going to run a flake all the way in there. So I guess I was just trying to get this edge really thin. It's not too bad. I mean, it looks like it was working pretty good. This video, I did this like last week sometime, so I can't remember. I can't remember if it was easy to flake the edge. It looks fairly easy, right? I'm not abrading all that much. I'm not getting a lot of white powdery residue on the edge when I'm flaking. See, I can't hear the video while I'm doing the voiceover, so I don't know if it's crushing or there's nice little snaps when the flakes come off. Anyways, we're winding down. Got maybe, let's see, 15 more minutes. So I'm just gonna watch, yeah. Critique my own performance. I did not abrade enough on this one, I can tell. I could have abraded more, yeah. Or abraded better. Sometimes abrading too much is not good. I could have probably abraded a little bit better and, did a lot more edge work with the pressure flaker before and after abrading. And then re-abrade. Do some pressure work and then abrade and then do another round of pressure work and then abrade again. That will give you a robust edge. I probably should have done that. I kind of did it there, but I should have probably done it on the whole edge. I don't know. I don't know. It's still really, really thin. I don't need to do much at all. So if I do run some flakes into the middle, I'm taking a big risk. And I think I'm going to try. I don't remember having those step fractures in the middle there. on the finished piece, I gotta look and see, what did I do? How did I get those out of there? Obviously, trying to pick them out didn't work. I can see where I think I can see where I'm going to run a flake. It's not too bad. Turn the edge toward that side. That side's already bulging out a little bit, so I should be able to run a flake there. Right? Right. I braided too much. It looked like it was not pressure flaking it. What am I doing? Probably scratching my head, trying to figure out what's going on. Let's try picking out those flakes again, because I don't want to run another flake in there. Or am I trying to get it as flat as possible before running another flake in there? I don't know. Yeah, I shouldn't be looking at that side. I can tell it's not that great. It's already way too thin to run a flake from that side. Maybe if I rub it, it'll go away. I got a Dremel tool now. I can just buzz those flakes, those step fractures down, and then flake over them. Yeah, I found the bits for my Dremel tool that are able to grind down stone. I got some. I think I'm gonna do it. All right, here goes. Oh, I see a crack. Right? The flake I just did had a crack in it. Down the middle. Those are scary because it looks like it cracks the workpiece itself. Apparently it didn't crack the workpiece, but those are scary. And I don't know, did I manage to wipe out some of those undetached flakes? It looks like I might have. Yeah, a little bit. Some guys are really good at picking those flakes off. I think I'm going to stick with the technique that I'm using now for a while. Yes, I've seen some guys, or I've heard that they use razor blades or something, or like, what do they call it? Utility knives with the blades, or box cutters with those blades that easily changed or sharpened. You snap part of the tip off, and the next one's really sharp, and then use those to flick off those sticky flakes in the middle. I've tried that, but I always end up breaking the steel blades. I think it works better for me if I use a flattened nail. Spatula tool. All right, so it looks like I'm sharpening the edge here. A lot of inward and downward force. It's almost like beveling. But the bevel in this case is incidental and not intentional. I'm just trying to thin the edge down and sharpen it with some pressure flaking. And then maybe I can see a chance to run a percussion flake in there. Yeah. Right? Am I getting ready for a percussion flake? I don't remember. No. Dude, you're going to bend that flaker if you put all that pressure on there. I put a lot of pressure on it, but it didn't bend. There it goes. Yeah, okay. It still probably would have been better with some percussion, though. Yep, yeah. Oh, well. Getting rid of all the little lumps and the deltas. Like sometimes they call them deltas, those little parts that stick out. I've never called them deltas. I just say I'm evening up the edge, removing all the sticking out parts. Why would you do that? Well, you don't have to. It makes it look neater. Yeah. More appealing to the buyers. I've seen plenty of artifacts that have edges that are all wonky that they don't remove the thick spots. Ooh, I'm trying to get all fancy and remove some obstacle. What is that? Oh, yeah, it's a step fracture. I'm trying to get all fancy and remove the step fracture. Let's see. Yeah, okay. The tip is fine. Here we go. Did I do it? I think it did it. That was cool. Yeah. There's a little bit of luck involved in removing those step fractures because if the flake doesn't go just right, that step fracture stays right there. Yeah, step fractures near the edge are very annoying. I don't know what it is. It's like, man, you could have gotten rid of that. What's up? And if I see that on a real artifact, I say the same thing. Man, you could have gotten rid of that. What's up? Maybe the step fracture was the result of hitting the edge on something and not a knapping mistake. Yeah, it's possible. So I shouldn't get mad at the artifacts. Nope. Some artifacts, I look at them, I still get a headache because I don't know what's going on. Some of the artifacts I have, it's dull in some spots and real sharp in other spots on the blade edge. It's like, what are you doing, dude? You only sharpened part of it and left part of it dull. And it's all random. Okay, what am I doing? I abraded too much. I'm pushing. Yeah, I think I abraded too much. I have a habit of doing that on the base. Abrading too much and then having to go back and zigzag it. And then it's too thin, then I gotta abrade it again. Yeah, I crushed it. I can tell what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm losing my patience probably at this stage. Here we go. A little bit better. Yeah, there you go. See, I knew you could do it. Yeah. Oh, almost messed it up there. I can see it's a slight step fracture. Four minutes left. I guess I'm just going to sharpen it. That's it. I don't remember if I tried to thin down the base at all, or the stem area after this, because I can see areas where I could have thinned it down more. Am I going to try to get that step fracture out with another flake? Or am I just going to keep picking at it? You gotta, okay. You gotta get the file on there, dude, so it doesn't ride over the edge of that step fracture. So, you know, if you sharpen it, it'll catch on the edge of the step fracture better. And I guess it is kind of sharp. Some of those step fractures are kind of sticky. Yep. Oh, I'm abrading it. Symmetry? Working on the symmetry? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't think I worked on this off camera. I think it's all on camera. Yeah. All right, we're almost at the end. We're almost there yet. I can see where I could have taken some percussion flakes, but I guess I didn't. Didn't want to risk it. And then I remeasured the width to thickness ratio at some point. I got down to 8:1 or 9:1, or I don't know. Probably 8:1. When I abraded it to take off that side and make it symmetrical, I lost a lot of width. Yeah, it's not too bad. I can see where I can take off some percussion flakes, but probably said to myself, no, don't want to mess it up even more. Yeah. It's not too bad. But yeah, I did not sell this one by itself. I remember it was in a box with others. 3 3/8. Alrighty. It's down to 52 millimeter. Yeah, 52 millimeter by 6, right? I don't know how it got fatter because it was 5 before. It's almost 6 millimeters. It's pretty close to 5 millimeters, so it's not too bad. All right. There you go. Good enough.